Coming to you live from somewhere in California. I have a good friend of mine with me, and the first thing is I gave you a list of different exercise programs, including P90X, resistance training, high intensity interval running, spin class, CrossFit, and power yoga, or others. Which one of those is something that you would feel comfortable performing?
I think I'd really like to do the high intensity interval running. I think it'd be really fun. I'm not big on just doing kind of plain boring workouts. So something where I can alternate, where I can run and then I can walk, because walking is kind of like the reward for 3 minutes of straight running. And then being able to maintain for longer is something that I definitely like.
Awesome. Okay, so where is maybe one or two places where you could do something like high intensity interval running? Because a lot of times you might not be able to do that in your house,
right?
So where's some different places that you could be able to do that?
One place I've actually done that is actually Lodi Lake. I've done that in our hiking trails that we have back there, and it's really fun and it's really private, but there's also people who do the same thing, so you kind of get a cool like core group together if you happen to be there. I've also done this around my neighborhood. It gets a little weird if students see us, but it's free. I don't have to go to a gym, and I'm able to track my own progress and see where I need to do better.
Awesome, good stuff. And then, so obviously our exercise here is mainly running.
Yes.
Right, so that's something that we feel comfortable doing, the alternating between the running and walking and all that kind of stuff. Is there any part of that that you don't feel comfortable with?
No,
Okay.
I'm totally comfortable with that.
And then with this, high intensity interval running, clearly people get paid lots of money to go through and work with like high level marathon athletes and sprinting athletes and all this stuff. Excuse me, to correct form and technique and all that kind of stuff. So there's definitely a technique aspect to it. You don't want to do wrong techniques and hurt yourself and get injured, and then you can't do the exercise. So who is it that you can, or is there anyone, or do you know of anyone, not necessarily by name, but types of people perhaps? Do you know of individuals that could help you with this program?
I do, actually. One of the guys I went to college with totally changed his life around and started his own, he calls it like Coach Evil, like he calls himself Coach Evil. But one of the things that he does is actually high intensity interval running with other things. And super great at it, loves to fix people's techniques. He just wants people to have fun with working out. So yeah, I'd go to him. It'd be scary because he's tough. But I would go to him.
So then, who's there for you to, and again, you don't necessarily have to say by name, but this is more of a general, who is your support system to help aid and give you the rah-rah and the emotional and workout exercise support?
Definitely my husband. He's great at that. He's my cheerleader.
And then is there anybody else that if your husband's not around or available, like goes to a conference for a week or whatever the case may be, is there any other support system that you have in place?
I bug you. So I just bug you. Like, tell me I'm doing well.
So confidence is always a big thing,
yes,
as is support, and just feeling generally motivated to go out and do this, right? Because when we talk about it, it's like, yeah, we're gonna go out and do this, it's gonna be awesome, and then life happens,
right,
and all of a sudden it's so. What are some things, experiences in the past that have helped you to reach your short-term and hopefully long-term goals with exercise programs?
So I think one of the biggest things is the realizing that short-term goals get you to your long-term goals. So don't set only a long-term goal. because at that point, if you hit a stumbling block, it's just not going to work. Hitting short-term goals, especially like this time of the semester, if I can work out twice a week, I'm a happy camper, and then that it's not always happening. So setting short-term goals and realizing that if you stumble, it's okay to correct, and it doesn't necessarily mean that you're done. It just means that we need to reset our priorities.
And then, is there anything specific other than the use of short-term goals that have in the past helped you along the way to make sure that you adhere or maintain to your exercise?
Just making sure that you know that it's not just about how you look physically, it's about how you feel. You can go for, such a long time without losing any weight, but you finally feel better, blood pressure goes down, you sleep better at night. And those things are kind of like those little things that we don't think about that lead us to those bigger goals. So as long as I know my health is in check, I sleep well, and I'm not overstressed, and I can use working out as a stress reliever, I'm a happy camper.
And then the last part for the whole goals and confidence and enjoyment and motivation part of things would be, we've all experienced, well, sorry, I shouldn't say we all, that's hyperbole, but a lot of us have experienced like in a sports environment, right? The whole team messes up or not giving the effort, and the coach is like, run a lap, or everybody's doing burpees, or whatever the case is, right? So there's some sort of exercise as a punishment.
Right.
I'm not necessarily focused with that, but what that brings is a negative feeling with the exercise, right? So I would try to focus now on the opposite of that. What are some strategies that you've had in the past that you've utilized to enjoy physical activity?
Music is my big thing. I have to have music because it helps me zone out. And knowing that with physical activity, some things I really like, some things I really hate. I haven't always been a hit runner or a big runner until I did hit training, and then I'm fine with it because I know it comes in intervals, and it has to be entertaining, right? I can't do the same thing constantly, so being able to switch up and change is huge. Even if we had to do it as punishment, as long as I didn't have to run a lap every time, I was fine. But when that starts to become monotonous and just keeps going, that's where you get bored.
So as a follow-up to that, so you, of my lame options that I gave you, you chose the high-intensity interval running.
Yep.
But would you like to maybe even mix it up, have an exercise program that's even maybe mixed up from that? So maybe high interval running, and then maybe a swim workout.
Oh yeah,
week,
absolutely.
And then maybe something else. So you're maybe strength training
Yep.
or something like that to kind of mix it up.
Yes, and then it's just more enjoyable that way. I have something to look forward to,
Awesome.
right? Get one thing done and you can do something else.
Big thing here.
Yes.
What are some barriers that prevent us from physical activity?
Pick a day that ends in Y. I think confidence is a big thing. I used to not feel that way. I used to feel like if I get seen running or being out in public because I'm not skinny, that people think oh, that's so crazy. That's weird. Why are you doing that? You shouldn't be doing that. That's unnatural. But now I don't care. You just build up confidence.
Yeah.
Yes. I build up confidence. But another barrier could be just lack of knowledge. You don't know what you can do. If you have bad knees, bad back, bad hips, bad shoulders, you tend to say that's it, I can't do workouts because of that. But when you can actually do so much more to one, help strengthen those areas, but then not do something traditional like just running, or I can't run because I have bad knees. Yeah, but you can do other things. So just realizing that there are other things out there than the typical, and then having a good mindset. It's always a struggle. I'm still struggling with it. It happens, right? So you kind of have to realize it's going to be a struggle, but as long as you have a support system, it works.
Gotcha.
Yep.
So then, any of the strategies that you talked about for trying to stay active in the past, were any of those strategies that you just talked about maybe in place before? And then if so, which ones have kind of been successful, maybe which ones have not been as successful?
So for those particular strategies, it's kind of one is the big motivation, the confidence thing, but so my husband and I are bowlers, right? I knew that I had to be more fit in order to enjoy bowling more without hurting. So no lower back pain, no knee pain. So I would always use my mindset of, it's okay, just keep going, because if I strengthen this now, then I will be able to do bowling a lot better. I will have more strength. I will also have more confidence, and that's actually worked. I've been doing better. He's still doing great.
Awesome.
But using that to get somewhere else.
Anything that hasn't been as successful as you tried to apply it as a strategy?
I think it's just, I still get on myself about knowing that if you have time constraints and you just can't, and you need to also do mind care as well as physical care, I will tend to push myself knowing, no, I have to get these 4 workouts in right now. If I don't, I'm a loser and the world is going to collapse. But realizing that you have to take care of your mind as well as the body, and that means that sometimes you have to just step back. It's hard for me, but I'm working on it.
Awesome.
And I can do it.
Awesome. Well, you have been absolutely wonderful. Thank you very much for your time.
Absolutely.
I enjoy it. And quasi live from somewhere in California, we're out.